Hello, good evening. Welcome to today's class, the day two of this 3 days website design webinar. Once again, I am your coach, Richard Sparks, and today we shall be diving into a more deeper topics and more practical aspects of this website design. And I believe that you gained a lot in our yesterday class, and by God's grace, I know that you will learn more in today's class. So, if you are live with me and you are online, I want you to drop a comment on the comment section and said, I'm ready, so that we can continue. Just type there, I'm ready, I'm ready. Yes. If you type, just type there, I'm ready, so that we can dive into today's topic. And before we talked about a lot of things like why you need a website. We discussed types of websites, and we saw samples of different websites, portfolio website, e-commerce website, even the one that we designed, the one that are designed by our students also. We saw a lot of websites like that, and we look at the interfaces and what makes them unique. We looked at all those ones in our yesterday class. So today, okay, I can see, continue. Okay, I can see that. Okay, we are ready, good. So now what we are going to do now is we are going to dive into a more deeper deeper aspect of this. Let me share my screen with you so that okay, do I have this? Okay, yes, okay, um, coming. Okay, let me share. I'm going to share my screen with you now. Share. Okay. Yes. So now this is where we are today. We are going to look at we are in day two, the second day of this our training. So today we are going to look at how website really work. Then we are going to look at what is a domain name. We are going to look at what is hosting and the things to consider before buying a domain name. Then different domain extensions and their meaning. Remember in our yesterday class, I was telling you that you need to be careful so that it will not be that you want to design a website for hospital, you will now go and use an domain extension that is for schools. So there are different domain extensions for different. We are going to look at that so that by tomorrow we now go into buying our domain and hosting. I hope you are getting me. So let's just uh, continue with our class. I don't want us to waste much time. I've always promised you that I will take you by hands and we'll learn this. I will not want to waste your time on unnecessary things. So, how does a website work? How does a website work? Okay, so that is the first thing. Now, the website has two different components. Are you getting me? First is what? You. You are the owner of the website, or maybe probably the designer, let me call it that. You are the website designer. There is a web host and there is a domain name. These two must link together for them to give you the the website user something that is usable and something that is lovely. Okay, let me say the three must work together. These three must work together. Definitely, if without these three working together, there will not be anything like a website. Yes, without the programmer that arrange it, the website, then the space for you to put all those your documents, and then but that document must be directed to a particular location. That's when the user will be able to have a good experience using that website. Now, what is what I'm talking now is just like I know that when we go into our practical class, it will be more clearer. Are you getting me? Okay. So, but let me break it. Let's break it down one after the other. First, we are going to look at the domain name. What is a domain name? Said a domain name is like the address of a web. Okay, I'm going to actually be this with our physical stuff. Like you, if you own a shop or a business, or on not on internet now on a normal physical business, you actually need an address, so that if somebody asks you, so where is mommy so or daddy so, where is your shop located, you can actually point to the person that, okay, my shop is at so address. That is the work of a domain name. A domain name directs people to the direct to your their address. Instead of remembering a long string of numbers, that is the IP address, 108 or 110 dot, people use a domain name to easily find and access websites. So, for example, in the address we have www.example.com or or example.com is a domain name. It helps users navigate the web more easily. So, like if I want to search, you can search www.gorigroup.com, www. Nigeria, if there's any a domain name like that, www.jumia, www.gonga, can easily find that. So that is what the work of a domain name. The domain name serves as the address of a website on the internet. So just get that at the back of your mind. I think if there was any exam to be written here, I would just ask you that a domain name serves like a dash of a website on the internet. So you should be able to put an address there. So I think that is well understood. Okay. So now we move to the second part. Okay, the name of your website. Okay, so you can see how the you can see how the stuff look like now. You can see like the the address of the address the address of the website, http www dot then example. You can see how it looks like. You can see how it looks like. http www dot. This http stands for something. I'll actually explain what it stands for. Okay, that is the prefix and the subdomain, then the main name and the extension. Just as I told you, the extension, we are going to look at the extension very well. So when you have example.com, is actually the full domain name. That's the domain name there. But it has prefix which has a meaning. Please take note. This prefix HTTP has a meaning. There's something that we are going to look at this. When it comes to your domain security, your website security, this prefix has a work to do. Then we have the subdomain and the name and the extension. I've also told you that the extension is very, very important. Please, if you are following me, just type I am following. Type I am following. I want you to understand. And if you don't understand anything, please, when we go to the group, you drop your questions, we treat it. Okay, so now let's continue on our class. So that is example. Okay, now, yeah, let's continue. Now, what is hosting? The simple meaning of hosting is hosting refers to the service that allows individuals or organizations to make their website accessible on the internet. When you host a website, you store its files like the text, the images, and the videos on a server, which is a powerful computer that is always connected to. So, um, I told you the domain is like the address of your website. Now, the hosting now is like your shop, your shop, go, 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 on the physical space. So now in that your shop, you have, probably if you are selling building materials, are you getting me? Your goods where you put your your cement, where you put your the building, different building materials, so that is the building, those are into building materials, we know all those the pipes and all those ones, where you put all those things in your store are what, that is the work of a host, where you host all those things on a server. But before then, there are some key points about which you have to take note. Which are, number one is storage. Hosting provides space on server for your website files. So sometimes knowledge. Now that's why I said let's start from here before we go into the main work. Now you discover that someone will want to do a large work. The workload of that website is large. Example, you want to design a website just like Jumia, and you want to go and buy a small space. You have maybe like 50 million naira, you want to start a business, you go and buy a lot of, maybe you want to start cement business, you buy a lot of cements and maybe a truckload of cement, and you now go and collect one small room. You see now, it will not contain that your goods. So that is some of the reasons why sometimes the website will not load fast. The website will load very, very slow. Okay, access is another key point you should take notes. It ensures your website is online and can be accessed by users anytime. Those are some of the things you need to consider, that I think I was telling you in yesterday class that we want to consider before buying hosting. But I think that's the few ones. We will still look at some too. Let's just continue. Types. There are different types of hosting, such as shared hosting, dedicated hosting, and cloud hosting, each with its features and pricing. By the time we will now, by tomorrow, when we will buy a domain name and hosting. Please take note of this, because all this we will explain them by tomorrow when we are buying. We are actually doing a buying, a live buying of hosting and how this thing works. Okay, in short, they said hosting is essential for making a website available to users around the world. So if you have address and you buy the shop, definitely there will be nothing to show to the world. That's just it. If you have a domain name and there's no host, there's nothing for you to put inside to display to people. Definitely is going to that your website is not going to be visible for people. Are you getting me? Okay, I think let's continue um, to the next thing there on the screen, which is what things to consider before buying a domain name and a hosting. Yes, please, I want you to drop a comment for me that you are following. If you're following this and it's becoming more interesting, just type there I am following. Okay, so let's look at things that you should consider before buying a domain. You know why? I'm just giving you the basic information that you need, because by tomorrow when we will really be doing the buying, you will see how it works. I don't want to give you theory. We are going to actually do live practicals. Okay. Now, here are some key things you have to consider before buying a domain and hosting. Number one, the when you want to buy a domain name for anything, consider that domain name. That it should be something that they can remember. It's relevant and easy to spell domain name. Okay, example, you want to you can see now that people like Jumia, how many names? One, two, three, four, five letters, 5 letters. Jumia, Gigi, Facebook, Twitter. I think they have changed it to X, Instagram. Simple, Apple. All those sorry, all those simple names. Easy to remember. Easy. YouTube. Easy to remember. Easy to remember. That's why we came up. We pick up Goric Nigeria Limited. Very easy. So sometimes you need to pick a domain name that's easy to remember for your clients. I have clients long name. I think we checked one of those websites yesterday. the name was so long. I have to tell the client, no, this is too long. We have to pick something that immediately it's something that a domain name that somebody can easily remember. And also, when it has to be, you have to show you samples tomorrow when we are in live class. Okay, so we have extension. It says decide on the domain extension .com.org that fits your purpose. Each extension has its purpose. That's why I was telling you, you shouldn't go and use a domain name that is meant for, you also know that. Then availability. When you are buying a domain name, the company you're buying that domain name, check whether that domain name is available for registration. When we wanted to register Goric Group, I think I should have shown you the practical. When we wanted to register Goric, there is Goric.com. Someone Goric already. I just wanted Goric.com, but I discovered that Goric already online. Someone was already registered. So you have to check when you want to register a domain name, you have to check whether that domain name is already existing. Then we have hosting type. Determine the type of hosting you need, whether shared hosting, VPS hosting, dedicated. I told you that this I will explain them when we are. Then performance. Look for reliable uptime and fast when anytime you want to buy a domain name and hosting. Speed should also be one of the things you should consider so that you will not buy domain name and hosting in a platform where your website will not be moving fast, will not be loading fast. It can discourage people and push people away from your website. Then we have support. Yes, this is another important thing. I would have shown you something, but I think when we are in a live class, when I'm in when we'll be doing more practical, when we're buying the domain name tomorrow, that's when I'll show you where I had an issue with a domain name. So what I did was I reached out to the support group and immediately they replied me and we were able to rectify it. So yeah, when buying a domain complaint and for them to resolve it for you immediately. Then another one is security. The security. I was telling you just now about that HTTPS that is very, very important. It is part of the security of your website. You have to check whether they provide this SSL certificate for you. Then another one is scalability. Choose a hosting plan that can grow with your needs. As your company grows, then that that plan you'll be able to extend it and increase it. Okay, then the cost. Compare prices and consider renewal fee. Yes, something happened. Domain name for a client. As at then, that domain .com. A .com now is more than 25,000 naira in some companies. A .com. But if I tell you that when we bought that .com, it was 4,500 as at then. So when the clients wanted to renew it last year, it was like, why is it like this? I said, that is it. So you have to prices and also consider renewal fees. Then reviews. Read reviews for both domain registrars and hosting providers. Let and read reviews. People will people that have had maybe bad experiences with them will definitely come to say, okay, these are our experiences. This is what we have passed through. These people are not good. To like be able to avoid them. So these are things you consider before going to buy a domain name or hosting in any company for your clients or for yourself. If you're following me, I want you to succeed. I want you to succeed, definitely. I want you to succeed. So I don't want you to have any issues. That's why I'm pouring out my heart to tell you to teach you this so that you avoid these mistakes. Okay. So now we are going to look at another thing again. Yes. We have come to that part, the part of different domain extensions and their meaning. So I talked about told you earlier that you have to be very, very mindful. So what are domain extensions? Domain extension known as top level domains are the suffixes at the end of the web address. They indicate the type of organizations or the purpose of the website. Now they now look at some of the some of the some of the domains. Sorry, I'm coming. Okay, so then I'll look at some of the domain extensions. Okay, so we have the general ones like .com, which stands for commercial organizations, businesses, or general use. So a .com is actually for commercial companies, organizations, businesses. Get that? .org stands for non-profit organizations. It's an open source like for open source projects and communities, groups, organizations. Your church can use .org. Ministries can use .org. Okay, then .net also is for network related entities such as internet service providers, MTN.net or maybe Intercom.net for network providers. We have info, which stands for information based sites. Then for biz, stand for businesses, especially small businesses. You can use that one. Then we have country code domains. I think I have to squeeze in this .com .ng because we have .us stand for United States, .uk stand for United Kingdom, .ca for Canada, .ng. So based on the country where you are watching me from, you can actually know that your country has a different code that you can use. I think the other day we had an encounter with someone. He gave us a domain name dot .in. That is for India. Yes. So you can actually know them by the extensions. I'm taking time to explain this extension now because when we want to buy a domain name, I don't want to make mistakes. Then we have sponsored top level domain, example .edu, which stand for educational institute. I told you. Okay, we have educational institutions, primarily universities and colleges for edu. Then we have .gov.ng for US government. Um, okay, we have US government. .gov is for government organizations. We have US, the US government. We have some websites have dot in Nigeria here we have some that has .gov.ng. You know that is Nigerian government website. We have MIL there for military. We have INT there for international organizations. Yes. Then we have these are some more specific and um, some other more specific, narrowed to the interest of some people or some companies. We have to do with tech, the design focus on design focused websites. Then health. These are health related organizations, which I told you you should not use health organization to go and register for edu. So health should go for health organizations. Then we have for travel, which has to do with the traveling institutions or businesses. Then we have special purpose or specific purpose um, domain extension. .xyz stand for general use. It's popular among startup and tech companies. Then we have .shop for e-commerce websites or shopping sites. We have .blog for um, blogs and personal websites. Okay, I think let's continue. Okay, I think yeah. Then I have here. Then we have .me personal website and portfolio .tv for so now each extension serves to categorize websites and can provide insight into the nature of the organization or content hosted on the site. So that is that for the extension. But when we actually want to do a real life practical, you will see how it actually works. You know that I did not really open much this thing today. Okay, we have so that is actually that for today, because we not really want to. I just want to give you most of the basic information that we will actually be working with. By tomorrow, we will go in details to all these things. So please don't miss the class tomorrow. By tomorrow, we will go in details. Tomorrow, we are buying a domain name and a hosting, and I want you to be part of that. Thank you for joining me tonight. God bless you and good night.